your computer.
All
Yeah.
right. Hi,
No, it's
everybody.
good.
Welcome to Hallows Eve night. It is Thursday, October 30th, 7 o'clock, and you know what that means. It's Devil's Night. Yeah.
Yeah. The
It
devil.
is? How come they don't have an Angels Night? That's what I want to know.
Isn't that like Christmas?
Or do they?
Or
Do
in
they?
Star Wars
Angels
terms,
Night?
Life Day.
Ah,
No,
Life Day. When is Life Day? We haven't celebrated that yet. We need to celebrate Life Day.
I don't
You don't
want
want to
to.
celebrate Life Day?
Okay, number one, you don't want to celebrate Life Day because you know what? You got to get yourself a couple of actors that are hyped up on cocaine.
Oh yeah, in Hollywood. Where will we ever find that?
This is
uh,
true.
well, as you can see, we're having a small Halloween party here. Hopefully, Kelly will join us in a little bit, but today's episode is going to be a special Halloween episode because, of course, tomorrow is Halloween, and we're having fun here.
Thanksgiving.
And
Oh, right.
I got to see how long I can last in this mask.
You and me both, brother.
Yeah, but we're having a lot of blast here. Halloween's always a time of fun, and one of the things we talk about, and we don't talk that much, is about our favorite like Halloween horror movies and such.
Mhm.
Now, I want to say there was big news in Marvel, of course, but we will be talking about that next week.
Yeah,
Oh
there's
yeah. Oh yeah. There's
tons of
a lot
stuff
of
that
news.
happened.
There's tons of stuff we want to talk about, but we'll unleash the poison next week.
Yeah. Well, again, just letting you know that every week we do, but today is Halloween, and we're having our Nerds on the Couch Halloween party. And David, you look goddamn scary.
Holy crap, man.
I'm every kid's nightmare.
That's for sure. And
Yeah,
mine.
teacher.
Yeah.
Grant's gonna be hiring me to do the show today.
Yeah.
Well, as one of the things that we did for Halloween, of course, is that we talk about movies and all that. And we're going to talk about some of our favorites that we have. And we're going to start with you, Chino.
Oh, really? Right off the bat?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
All right. I'm gonna pick two. I might change one of them, but we're gonna. The two movies I picked was Phantasm and A Clockwork Orange. And
Oh,
Phantasm, me and Renee have a Phantasm connection. Did we see a marathon? We saw something like that
yeah, we
once,
saw Marathon.
And
We saw all of them, man.
yeah, and
In one
the
night.
interesting thing about, huh? In one night, yeah,
We
no
saw them
kidding.
all in one night, remember?
Yeah. And the one thing that's interesting about Phantasm is, and I give this credit because I've never really seen it anywhere else. The good guy never wins. Never. You're never gonna win. If you're in Phantasm, you're screwed. That's it. It's over. You know what I mean? You are never gonna win. That old guy is always gonna pop up.
How
And that's
old is
cool.
it?
I've never seen anything else where the good guy never wins.
Well, the one that got to me about those movies was that, the movies came out like in the 70s. And the old guy is still alive.
You
He
know
is
what?
immortal.
Yeah, there's actually video proof of immortals, and he's one of them.
And you have those spheres. I've never seen that in any other movie. Those flying spheres are cool. They even
The
made that
killer.
distinct noise.
Well, what
Killer
do you
spheres.
call those spheres?
Yeah,
I
this
have no
killer
idea, man.
spheres. That's, no,
I
just
would call
spheres or
it,
something.
look, run. I mean, that's probably the best description for it.
Well, each one did something different. Remember, like they would like zoom, and like one of them would like ram you, and then it would look like a spike and drill into your head. Another one would like suction out your blood or whatever organs it stabbed you in.
Yeah, those spheres were not your friends. Although they had that one good movie where that guy spent like, a good 20 minutes, okay, maybe 10 minutes making that like four-shot shotgun, and he only uses it once in the whole movie. Which really doesn't make any sense if you think about it. But hey, whatever.
Hey,
It's
he
fantastic.
survived all those movies, man.
Nah, I think he got killed at the end. They all get killed in the end. You never win in Phantasm. Second movie I
Okay.
picked was A Clockwork Orange, and simply the reason I like Clockwork Orange is it's interesting, and the reason I consider it a horror movie is simply because you see it in The Simpsons all the time. They make reference to it on the Halloween tree of the Treehouse of Horror, you always see some kind of well, you've seen enough references to Clockwork Orange in the movie, you know. And if we're talking about horror, it's a trippy movie. It's enough that makes you sit and really think about it. That guy is what is it? What was he getting? He was getting tortured. Oh no. Oh, he's reading about. Well, never mind. I'm not even gonna go into that because that's controversial. But it's a controversial, interesting, kind of terrifying movie. To think
Well, he
about
was
it. It's
getting
a this
he was
doctor.
getting what's it called, psychologically conditioned against violence.
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't work.
And also his favorite song.
Yeah. Yeah, it was not one of the characters' favorite songs at the time. No, in no way, shape, or form. Oh, that old guy, man, he's great. Remember, he hears him humming it, and he's like, ah,
Yeah, the look
oh,
on
such a
his
good
face was
movie.
awesome.
Yeah,
That is
yeah,
frightening. I remember we're just watching part of it, and when they went ahead and put that stuff in his eyes just to open them, and
yeah,
then they watered them just a little bit. That was freaky, man.
yeah. You gotta
Well,
give credit to that movie. That movie was
well,
very
I
innovative.
that movie is freaky. Okay, it is freaky, and it does mess with your head.
Oh.
Oh, that's it. I'm done. Who's next?
Eh,
That's
okay,
all the horror you have.
I officially can't breathe in this thing. Um, One of those again. Orly, you had the next round.
Okay. Well, one of my favorite movies was Poltergeist. And some of the freakiest stuff happened in that one. I mean, you got a whole bunch of stuff with that movie. It starts out really nice and calm. You hear nice music. Hey, there's somebody on here. Hello, Kelly.
Hey, Kelly.
Hey,
Hello.
Kelly.
Sorry, I'm
All right.
Oh, we can see you.
Well, let me see. Where was I? Well, it started out nice and calm, and then, you get to that point where you start seeing some freaky stuff. And the first time it happens, I mean, you get an earthquake feeling, something comes out of the television and starts feeding into the wall. Dog starts reacting to stuff, all sorts of weird stuff. And then you have everything that happens all of a sudden, all the unknown stuff. The tree getting the kid, the clown that goes ahead and tries to kill the kid. That really freaked me out. And obviously, because I don't like the Captain Spaulding over there. Yeah, that's scary. You got the clown. I always hated clowns after that, especially when I went to my aunt's house because her room was filled with these porcelain freaking clowns. I hated going in that room. Anyway, beyond that, let's see all the freaky stuff that happens. I mean, even though Family Guy made fun of this part where the guy starts picking at his skin, pulling out just organs and stuff, and he just like becomes like a skull in the end. That was really frightening, especially when I first saw it. I was a kid, and I couldn't sleep a week after watching that film. I mean, it was really freaky. I loved it. I watch it all the time. And what's even freakier about it is now that I'm an adult, I'll actually listen to some videos about the most cursed movies, and that's one of them. The actors, almost all of them, have died. Died within the first 6 years after the film was released. The little girl, she died of some kind of pancreatitis, or not pancreatitis, or she had like something go wrong, and she just died.
Well, it was sepsis. I
Really?
remember.
Huh?
I got it. Some of the first one was good. I got to admit, the first one
Oh
it
yeah.
got under my skin. I agree with you. I watched it. I haven't watched it in the theaters, but I saw it on TV late
Hmm.
at night. The lights turned off, and the lighting. I mean, the black and white lighting with the TV.
Oh yeah.
And you watch it in the dark and at night and all that. It really, gets into you.
Yeah.
It doesn't
you know,
help you have the little girl, and that little girl could be creepy. Even creepier than me at times. No, when she just turns around and goes,
There he is.
here. And you have
you know,
such perfect lines like, okay, the lady that goes ahead and exercises the house. Step
This
into the
house.
light. Step into the light. How many times has that been used in parodies?
Oh yeah, and
Never with
then
a clown. Never with a clown.
no, no, clown,
I
no,
never with a clown, I know.
no,
um,
they beat the clown
you
with the
know,
light.
one of my favorite things about the movie is the stuff that happened, that they revealed after the movie was out for a long time. And, they were going over, and this came out in a Halloween special where they were talking about Poltergeist. And they were talking about how, since they didn't have a lot of money to make, a lot of money to, you know, or enough money in the budget to make a lot of special effects. They used real cadavers in that one scene where the house sinks and stuff like that, and Joe Beth Williams is in
And they
there and
didn't
stuff like
bother.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, they didn't bother to tell her that they were real cadavers. And they were talking about it in the special, and she's like, "What? Yeah, they were real cadavers. What? What are you serious?"
yeah, and you know what? That's what they
Yeah.
attribute the fact that that the movie it was cursed and people did die. I mean, they said, well, because he used real cadavers, that the spirits of those disturbed bodies, took revenge. That's what they were talking about.
Another real interesting point, not to get off your topic about Poltergeist, but Evil Dead kind of had the same thing. A lot of the stunts you see in the movie Evil Dead, you're like, oh, they're so realistic and stuff like that, because they were. You know what I mean? They didn't have money to really do a lot of special effects. So a lot of the stuff that you see that looks realistic is probably realistic.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah, really, they did have a tree doing that.
No,
Yeah.
but I gotta say, one of the things that always stands out to me, and even to this day, it just blows me that you actually feel the environment. Like, when the little girl crosses over and she's on the other side and them trying to rescue her, and the sound, the wind's blowing around while they're going, and trying to get her out. Even today, it's still, like you're right, it's still very visually realistic.
There's another reason why it works so well. And some of the best horror does this. Um, you get very unsettled when the horrific things are happening in places that are supposed to be safe. Your home,
Especially
Yeah.
your home.
home is
You
supposed to be
know,
a place.
and
The,
one of the number one hiding places for little kids is the closet. And where did she disappear? In the closet.
Closet. Closet.
Well,
You
I
know,
mean, go ahead.
oh, where do you get that expression then that gay people are in the closet? How did that come about?
Uh,
We don't talk about that.
Again, that's something for there. That's something for another show, another place, man.
Not here. All right.
Heard Tom Cruise is there.
Uh,
Oh my god. Anyway, I just love the hell out of watching Poltergeist. I've watched it so many times. Especially like some of the tongue-in-cheek stuff. I mean, when the teenage girl is they're like, oh, we're gonna go to the Super 8 on this street, and she's like, oh yeah, I know that place. And the mother
they go
just looks
ahead
at her.
and yeah. Not only that, they go ahead and take the TV, put it outside.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, that part was cool. you
yeah.
know,
Go ahead.
as good as the first one was, though, I really like the second one too. I think I enjoyed the second one a little bit more. I don't know why.
Well, I
you
really
know,
don't remember the second one.
I always wrestle with the second one because it had good ideas, but I always question whether it was a poltergeist movie because it kind of like I felt the monster. And the preacher man. The preacher man was creepy as anything, and it turned out he was creepy because he was dying of cancer. The actor was actually dying of cancer, and that's why he looks all bone thin and like that. But and he died shortly after that movie. But I wrestle with it because I sort of liked it, but then at the sort of time I feel that it's not a poltergeist movie. It was more like a Nightmare on Elm Street movie at that point.
Yeah.
Because I really think they should never have done a sequel.
No.
And the third one sucked. I mean, the third one was just so horrible.
Oh yeah, we
And
don't
it
want
was
to even
so
acknowledge that.
and it was so badly edited because of the girl dying,
Hmm.
which itself was a tragedy.
I, yeah, I heard there was like a reboot on the works. I don't know. I've heard about this a while back, so I'm not sure if it's still in the books. But how do you feel about a reboot to Poltergeist?
Don't do it. That's how I feel. Just
way.
don't do it because you know what? There's going to be too much Hollywood. Too much time has passed. Too many things have gone ahead and become like mythology. I mean, just don't do it because in this case, I can't think of any way they could make it better. And if they do try, and and we're disappointed, they won't hear the end of it. Now, on the other side, if they do it and they do it right, it could be a good thing. But
You know what? I'd have to agree with you on your first point too, because I saw the new reboot to Jason, I saw the reboot to Freddy, I saw the reboot to Evil Dead, and yeah,
yeah,
those movies suck.
yeah, you just can't do that because it's too. It was too new for its age. I mean, it was something so different. It's something that you just can't redo. You can't redo that. You can't. You really should not do a reboot of this movie. They cannot be done.
Well, I agree with you on the fact that they can't do it. But this is a new generation. I mean, it's been almost like what, 30 years?
Yeah.
Yes, it has.
And
It's
If
almost
that.
exactly
Probably
30
more.
yeah, I think it's been 30 years. And you do that new reboot, I think they kind of want to capitalize on like the paranormal movies and all those ghost ones that have come out.
Well,
But
I would
you're
have.
right, it's
Yeah,
not
but
going
they've
to
been
be.
horrible.
Yeah,
But
it
again,
gets.
how
Yeah,
many people actually remember Poltergeist?
Yeah.
The kids
No.
do. The kids do.
Yeah, I mean, kids do watch these old movies. Sometimes they come up. I mean, I talked to some kids that never been anywhere close to the '80s and have watched every single movie. When I mention anything, they already know it right off the bat. They know everything. Now, you know, I just can't see them doing a reboot. Why not just let them watch the original? I mean, what other movie could you go ahead and watch a married couple, a couple doing pot, and then they talk about the strange things happening, something's happening. Come on.
Okay, and this is just your first movie, man. What's your second one gonna be?
Yeah.
There's a second one. Oh yeah, yeah. All right. Well, Alien, Alien.
Alien.
Yeah,
My
Alien.
God.
Oh yeah.
Ah.
It had two of the best genres put together. You had science fiction
Yeah.
and horror. And you melded them. And you know what? Nothing gets scarier than the unknown. And this thing, this xenomorph, no one's ever seen anything like it. And it comes out. And the way it gestates, the male pregnancy. It goes ahead, the face hugger latches onto the face, stays there for a while, falls off, you think everything's fine. Everything's gonna be fine. So what if it had
Really
acid
not a
in it?
good.
And then it's like, and then it comes out like that, and not even the actors knew it was gonna happen. That was the most craziest thing. You just see their faces. They just look bad. They look like this. And they're like, holy crap, what the hell is that?
We can't really see your face because of Iron Man.
Yeah, I know. But you gotta understand, these people, they put together a movie that was just freaking awesome. I mean, you started watching, and you're like, oh no, who's gonna be hit with the hammer this time? It gets closer and closer, and then all of a sudden, the edit just stops, and then you got that. It's like just really, really close. I mean, the point of the editing that I heard that they talked about is they said, well, yeah, sure, you know where the hammer is, you know where it is, but when do you strike with that hammer? That's the point of the editing. And you have everything, and you have the quintessential bad ass woman, Sigourney Weaver. Sigourney Weaver, great actress. Ever since I've seen her in that, I've seen her in other films. I just remember Alien, and she was just fantastic. I mean, even when you
Hey,
watch Ted, it's great. I mean, you got the cinematography, you got even the set design. H.R. Giger. Oh, crap. The way he designed the alien, he came up with everything. Just looks
dang,
freaking awesome. Huh?
you know, you just mentioned Sigourney Weaver, and it made me think of one of my other favorite horror movies that I totally forgot about till you mentioned her. But we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, get later.
Let me say this. It wasn't just Sigourney Weaver.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, Tom Skerritt,
Oh, God, yeah.
Ian Holm as the android.
Oh,
Those
God,
those
yeah.
guys really put into the movie. And even today, it's hard to imagine there was a person inside that xenomorph.
Oh, God, yeah.
Then
Oh,
you have
even
Yaphet Kotto. He was very good in it, and he had some very fine actors. I mean, Shakespearean actors.
even the freaking cat. Even the freaking cat was awesome.
Well,
There we go. Yes.
you gotta give credit to this movie though, man. This movie is innovative simply because you really didn't at the time saw anything like it. You never even thought of horror in space, or horror in a spaceship.
Yeah, I mean, giving props to the movies that came afterward. I mean, when people figured out the formula, true horror. It all started with Alien. I mean, when you started mixing science fiction and horror, I mean, it's like, holy crap, you got a melding of the two, and it's good. I mean, even when you watch movies like Event Horizon, they had to take something off of Alien. I mean, the dark, damp places. I mean, this is a crusty ship that they're on, a crusty cruiser, and it's just been, carrying stuff. This thing leaks. Holy
Wow.
crap! A spaceship leaks. The spaceships aren't supposed to leak. They're supposed to be nice, white. Everything is supposed to be all in order and never supposed to be messy. No, 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 not in this thing. This thing had chains.
Remember, it was tug. It was actually a
Salvage ship,
uh,
wasn't it?
no, 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 no. Um, they were
Cargo.
yeah, they're basically truckers.
Yeah.
The Nostromo
These are the
itself.
two space truckers.
Yeah, well, that reminds me of another,
Nostromo.
say, sci-fi movie, bad sci-fi movie, but sci-fi movie, Space Truckers. But
Yeah, I
Oh,
was thinking of the
no,
same
no, no.
thing.
pigs.
Wrong channel.
Now, one
um,
thing I want to bring up when you talk about Alien, I agree. That was one of the most innovative sci-fi horror. It was a cross-genre movie, and this is one that I always say when people ask me about sequels and all that. The sequel for Alien, I wouldn't quite call it horror. It was more action movie,
Yeah, that was an action movie. You're
but it
absolutely
worked. Part one really created a dimension. It created a universe, and it was scary. And then the second one worked because they really had an idea, and James Cameron, and it was still, you can still make the argument that it's horror because it's survival. It's a survival horror
yeah.
movie, and that those two movies together were just incredibly mind blowing. And then they messed it up with three.
Oh God, you don't want to. You don't. Let's not talk. They gave
yeah,
us a
let's not
movie.
talk
They're
about
trying to give us
three.
a movie. They're
Yeah,
trying to give us a movie that they said, "Oh, the bee is back," and you know what? She didn't even show up. She couldn't come to the party. There's something wrong with that. That's inherently wrong.
yeah. What
Look
is
at the
it about
values
three?
here.
What is it about three movies, man? Think about or the third sequel in the movie. Because look at Halloween 3. Halloween 3 had nothing to do with the first two. You know what I mean?
It wasn't.
They run out of
The
ideas.
guy that wrote Halloween 3 was actually very upset because it's a separate story that he had written, and they shoved the Halloween name on it. And also, they went ahead and how do I put it? Watered it down for to be more palatable. It was supposed to be something completely different, and that's what happens. They want so much these sequels because they make money because the name's already known that the executives get in the way.
And
Well,
unfortunately,
let
they're
me
right.
explain the story behind that. The idea they had with Halloween was that they were going to make different horror movies with Halloween attached to it. If it was successful, they were going to do Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. They were going to do Halloween 4, which had a completely different story, but like with witches or something involving Halloween.
Coven.
You know, that was their idea. It didn't pan out because everybody wanted to see Michael Myers back.
Well, they saw him in number 2, but number 3, they basically took this guy's book and, his story, and basically he refused to ever work with them again. I remember about that.
Yeah, well,
Getting back, getting
to the
back to
subject.
aliens real quick. Getting back to aliens, one of my favorite scenes was came. I can't. I'm pretty sure it was Saturday Night Live, but I remember they're all like in one of those cargo things, and the door is closed, and they're making a parody of Alien, and they're
Yeah.
all like, oh, it's coming, the aliens coming, and they're all loading up, and then the elevator or the cargo door opens, and they start shooting, and it's ET. They're all
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"Ah!"
They should have did that with the video game.
I
No,
remember that one.
That was great.
that was great. I remember that. And then Sigourney Weaver starts taking off her clothes. And we already seen you in your room. Put your clothes back on. She's like, come on. Oh, that was funny. No, but I love, and because at the end you think, oh yeah, she blew up the Nostromo, hey, the alien's gone, she's home free, and then she's just sitting there, and then all of a sudden she sees it moving, and from behind she's like, ah, and then she goes ahead and just hides in. Then she finally blasts out of the airlock. Lucky.
I mean that I gotta give it credit. You did do some awesome pick with Alien matches. But moving on, Kelly.
Yes, I one of my favorite Halloween movies of all time. You gotta see it always in the theater, and bring your TP and rice. Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Come on, guys, let's do.
Can't do
Let's
it.
do the time warp, guys.
Time for begin.
I hate that movie.
David can do it because he looks appropriate.
It's just
David would fit in.
Unfortunately, yes, he would.
You've got to admit, Halloween, it's there for fun. It is just an all-around fun film about a newlywed couple that happened to go to the wrong place. And they meet a transvestite who wants to build his perfect mate, who happens to be halfway decent.
Ricky?
Yes, Ricky.
Yeah.
No,
I thought
Rocky.
it was Meatloaf.
Ricky.
yeah, but
Rocky.
But you've got to admit,
well-
it's one of those that you go to the midnight show. It is an audience participation film. You have fun. You mess up a theater, and you don't get thrown out for throwing things.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing about this. It is, and you're right, you need to see it in the theater, and you need to see it at a performance of it,
Yes.
where they actually know the lines to go ahead and say to the screen, say hello, Riff. Hello. Or my favorite line, hey, Riff, what's for dinner? Meatloaf again.
I mean, I love going to the theater, and during the time warp, you see the whole audience get up and dance.
Oh, yeah.
When it comes to Rocky Horror, though, you hit the head on the nail when you said audience. The first time I ever saw this movie, I rented it as a VHS, and I thought it was a family movie, so I put it in with my family. Yeah, no, this is not a family movie. Okay, this is not a movie you see with your parents at the house.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
halfway
it's
through
my
it,
turn,
stop
but
Frankie, pull that thing out and put something else in.
They had it as a family movie?
No, he
I thought
showed it
was
to
a
his
family
family as a
movie.
family movie.
He
Yeah,
thought it
I
was.
thought it was a family movie.
and my parents did show it to me before we went to the theater, so I knew how to participate. They actually took me to the midnight showing. In fact, tomorrow, all my cousins, we're going to the midnight showing again. I mean, it's become a family tradition.
Yeah, and
I
I
mean,
think that's a great thing about the Rocky Horror Picture Show. You have midnight showings, and you had them for a long time. I remember Drew Carey did a tribute to it. That was great.
oh,
Or in the Drew Carey show.
so many shows have done tributes to it.
Well, it's breaking my heart that it is. I hope it does a resurgence because to me, it's breaking my heart that I bring it up sometimes with my kids and they don't know it.
That's because here in El Paso they never do the midnight showings of it. No
They
one
used to.
supports that.
Where I live, New York, New Jersey, it is very common to have midnight shows. Sometimes they'll do it in the 6 months to Halloween Day, and they'll have it. And you have all the people coming out in the costumes. We're awake at midnight. Come on. We're in an area that doesn't sleep.
I will
And
say
you have,
this.
and you
It
also have
has.
the theater there. So you have the performers willing to come out and do the show for free.
Wow.
Yeah, because if they're real diehard fans and they're going, they'll be up there acting it out.
I gotta say, the one thing I absolutely love, I love the soundtrack.
Yes.
I mean, that soundtrack always brings back Halloween feelings for me. Like let's do the time warp again, or the beginning of it with the science fiction picture show with the lips.
Yep.
Remember?
Science fiction.
It was a mystery until recently.
You got started.
Sung by a clown, too. Homicidal clown.
I hate clowns.
We got a lot of psycho clowns around. But the other one, I also, on my list, is the original Psycho.
Yeah.
The Alfred Hitchcock, black and white. I mean, yes, they did a remake, and there was something missing with that remake.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
Alfred
me and
don't
Chino,
get us started with the
yeah, me and
remake.
Chino had a big
Yeah.
discussion about that when it came out. Go
Actually, I've
ahead,
never
Chino,
watched
tell
that
them.
one.
No, hold on, tell them.
All right. When the very first came out, they showed the trailer about Psycho, and at the very end of the trailer, they said, original script written by blah blah blah. And I was thinking, wait a minute, it follows exactly everything in the first one. So what do you call something that you take credit for that you didn't really write?
Plagiarism.
That's plagiarism. And it was straight up
Wait,
plagiarism.
maybe
Taking
maybe they just changed one or two words. Come on, we have students that plagiarize all the time saying, but we didn't do it on this word.
Right, but kids,
enough.
they're kids. We don't expect Hollywood execs to go out and say, "Oh, I wrote this script."
How
We don't want
many,
them to shy off the script.
how many of these films are written by kids, though? Come on, some of the writing is really bad in some films.
Yeah, but the point was that the
I know it's
director wasn't it Gus Van Sant?
I don't remember, dude. I never even saw the movie.
Yeah, well, the
I just
director.
like that.
Well, I was saying the
I just remember.
director.
Go ahead. Matt.
Well, I was pointing out the director said, and I remember because we were there, said that we're shooting it exactly shot by shot like how the original was shot, line by line how the original was. And I keep thinking,
Watch the original.
Yeah.
that's a plagiarist.
By the true sense of the word.
I can't
No,
remember
but
if it was you. I can't remember if it was you or I don't know who brought it up, and I'm not gonna finish the complete sentence, but you'll know what I mean. I've seen, if I wanted to see blank in a shower, I'd be seeing something more interesting. That was a great line. That was a great line.
Well, the last of my list, and I know Chino was like, okay, you have a fixation on this guy, goes to the king of the macabre, Stephen King's films. And my favorite, Christine, Cujo, Pet Cemetery. I mean, he took things that you wouldn't expect to see the horror in, like a car. I mean, you guys probably had your favorite cars growing up,
Sure, kid.
and having a car become as nasty as a woman can be, spiteful. And when she decided she didn't like the competition, she took her out. I mean, Christine, even to this day, still scares me in a way because you never knew when that car was going to come alive playing those 50 songs, eyeing up the next victim.
You
And
left one out.
what my favorite thing about Christine is, you don't need insurance. That's the best thing about Christine.
I never thought of it that way, but you couldn't destroy the car. Nothing would kill her because she kept coming back.
You're forgetting one of the other classics for all of them. And I know Stephen King did not like the film, but
The Shining.
you cannot find beat The Shining. I mean, that
The
is
Shining.
The Shining.
yeah.
Yeah,
Not forget The Sinning.
very hard to find that film.
Oh,
You know what?
No, The
That
Shining.
movie creeped me out for one reason, and one reason only is a movie that creeped me out, and it creeped probably everybody else out. I'm just gonna say, old lady. That's all I'm gonna say.
Old lady in the bathtub. Yep. But
No,
I
let
mean,
me
I
tell-
said
That's
That's
what
why
the crap about.
The Shining was so good. I mean, I know Stephen King. I recently just saw an AMC movie night with Stephen King, and he explained, it wasn't his vision. It was the director's vision, which I forgot. Was it Stanley Kubrick who directed it?
yes, it was.
Yeah. And the one thing, and he admitted he caved in. He said the one thing that was good was that you had a complete sense of isolation. And when I saw that, Jack Nicholson, of course, this is Jack Nicholson in his prime. Isolation and what it is to actually be alone with a house that was haunted, and you don't go anywhere. You have to be in there. And I loved seeing his descent into madness.
Well, the other thing for me, I love Danny, the little kid. Yeah,
Oh, you should be
Oh
saying
yeah,
that.
yeah. And then, I mean, the thing is that you have not only, if it was just Jack Nicholson there, that wouldn't be as scary. But you have a little kid involved. And especially when he's going around and all of a sudden the two little girls that have been murdered right in front of him. Come and play with us, Danny.
Yeah,
I mean,
I top that. I mean, I like Shelley Duvall, dude. I mean, if you want to talk about horror, she brought it. You know what I mean? You see the
Oh,
look
yes.
in her face, and you're like, oh, she's scared. You're not even saying that. You're like, oh, yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
And then,
Oh,
you
agree
Pedro.
with you.
wonderful lines. Wendy, you hurt me real bad.
yep.
Well,
Yeah.
I gotta say, I gotta agree with
in
you.
there.
It was an amazing cast. I mean, yeah, Shelley Duvall, seeing her perform, because I saw The Shining recently, and I would be exhausted doing what she did.
All work and no play make Jack a dull boy.
Okay, but we saw this from
Yeah.
Kelly. Let's get back to Kelly. Okay, Kelly.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kelly.
Hey, that's okay. I love all of the King stuff. I mean, come on, I had a hard time picking out which one.
Well, can I
Well,
tell you
well,
which one bothered me? I want to bring this one up, and I want to tell the story. I saw this one as a kid, and as a little kid, I was like 5 years old, I think. It disturbed me. It really got under my skin. Now, as I got a kid, and as I grew up, I completely forgot which one it was. I found out recently because I ran into it on like Encore channel or something like that. And even up to this point, I had like flashbacks of like horror scenes. Like when I think about something that was scary, I think about those scenes. And I grew up and I finally saw it. And I'm more. I watched it now with an adult eyes, and I'm like, okay, it wasn't that scary, but the underlying meaning of it, the underlying ideas of it, is still one of the most frightening ones. And I'm talking about Salem's Lot.
Oh, that's another good one.
Mm-hmm.
I preferred the
But
book
I mean,
over
it
the
did not
movie.
stand the test of time. The TV series it didn't. The book does. If you're wanting to talk about TV series from Stephen King that I liked, The Stand was good, but I
Yes.
liked Rose Red. And I know it is a redoing of Hill House, but it mixes it up. It doesn't follow the same plot. It really does a good job at taking the old storyline of researching the haunted house and really did something good with it. Plus, you have
I
Stephen
like
King.
Harley's favorite. I like Harley's favorite. He loved it. It was
Yes.
great. He loved it so
Oh
much.
yeah,
Oh, you
That lovely
SOP.
clown.
here.
Read between the lines. Read between the lines.
I don't read Braille.
Ah.
I hate that freaking clown. Hold on a second. Sheesh.
I
That's
got
worse.
He gave me
Clowns were
nightmares for
the
weeks.
zombie animals from Pet
Hey.
Cemetery.
I don't like the animals. I don't like the animals.
Hey, I gotta rank Pet Cemetery a little bit higher than it. I mean, Pet Cemetery was great. I mean, the acting in there, the cat was still creepy as anything.
Oh, yes.
And then he killed it.
And then the
The,
kid
the, the,
at the end. That
the,
kid was
the,
creepy.
did you see what I did? I took Rocky Horror Picture Show and connected it to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Same actor, Tim Curry.
Yeah, it
I
is.
know, Tim Curry was in there, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have Carrie with all that pig's blood.
Carrie was a
Carrie
really good
is a
movie.
They're gonna make fun of you. They're gonna make fun of you.
Carrie is a mixed bag for me because I really like the idea of it. Um, but I always found that I read the book, and the book to me seemed a little better because this one it seemed more like, hey, let's throw. It was more teen sex than it was scary. And
Plus, you have
the only real good scary part was the ending, and I loved her eyes. You just see it in her eyes, and brilliant performance. And she just went at it. She just went nuts on everybody.
And remember, this is Sissy Spacek
Yes.
we're talking about.
Yeah, Cindy was great. That movie was kind of made for our kind of demographic because it's about a kid that's a nerd, is kind of an outsider and stuff like that. Getting back at all the popular people, that's great. What can you not love about that movie? You know
Hey,
what I mean?
the remake,
On the
the
same
remake,
vein of Carrie, though, we gotta talk about Firestarter. Firestarter was great too. I love that. I love that little girl
Yes,
taking everybody.
And
Played
the
by
top. Yeah. Drew Barry.
yeah, Drew
I mean,
Barrymore.
we could go on forever with all of King's work.
Well, I gotta admit,
Those movies-
Firestarter. I agree with Chino. Firestarter was absolutely brilliant. Drew Barrymore stood out, but George C. Scott. I mean, you really hated him at the end of that movie, and you're glad he got what he deserved in that movie.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna break that because there's a movie that Stephen King is connected with, and it's all him. But it is the
That's right.
best horror montage movie that you'll ever see, and
Creep
that
Show?
is the original Creep Show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cat's eyes. Cat's eyes.
No,
Yeah,
Creep
no,
Show
no.
more than Cat's Eyes.
I
Creep
love
Show
cat's eyes.
No,
much
dude.
more.
Yeah, Creep Show. I'd say Creep Show. I mean, that scene with the roaches bothered the crap out of me to this day.
Not just the
God.
roaches. Happy Father's Day.
Well, as much as again, I mean, all these are amazing. Stephen King, I gotta admit, they've done some amazing movies, and we got to move on because we could be doing a whole show on Stephen King. We got to come on the show sometime. you know. David, which one? We're going on to David's picks.
Well, we've already brought one of my favorites which was basically The Shining. But I must go because I agree. I believe in this sentiment. They've lost a lot of the luster with horror movies for me nowadays, because it's all about the shock and less about the tension, less about building things up. And a movie that built everything up from the ground up, that everything just ratcheted more and more and more the more the film went on. It started out creepy in the beginning, and then it went ahead and went full out creep fest with spinning of heads, vomiting of pea soup. You know, you cannot beat The Exorcist for really creating such a. And I'm not a Catholic, but believe me, I know now. Uh, I had heard that a Catholic priest in the town went ahead and showed it to his congregation to tell them what would happen if they let the devil in their lives. I mean, that movie really shocked the nation and began the new sense of what horror could be. Because up until then, it was the 1950s horror, 1940s horror, a little bit with the, Hammer horror, but it really never hit mainstream America until The Exorcist.
Well, part of it you got to give credit to the actors, and the other part I give it to the music.
Tubular
Yeah.
Bells, which is actually a good song.
That is like the creepiest music you hear. And
Yeah.
I remember it came out re-released in the theaters like 10 years ago, and it still scared people. It scared people like when you see the girl like running down the stairs on her legs and crawling on the ceiling.
Come
And
on,
Yeah,
quick flashes of the
Linda
demon.
Blair did a wonderful job.
Linda Blair was tortured in that movie, man.
Yeah,
Also,
but some of the other scenes was not actually Linda Blair. There was a double for some of the scenes that were deemed too adult. You would know which scenes you know the film. I'm not going to go ahead and say which ones they are. But quite frankly, some of the scenes they had an adult going ahead and playing her. But the thing is this: the makeup was great, special effects, low tech but good, and then the subliminal stuff. When the face death head comes, just shows up right there, and the audience, before it even realizes what it's reacting to, they react, and it just creeps out. And
I
then
hate this.
you cannot beat Max von Sydow's role as well.
And it was just, I was remembering the scene where he got pea soup on him, and it is disturbing. But then, I gotta ask you guys, do you think the sequels diminished it?
Yes.
Yeah.
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 I
No.
think this is one of those cases where they shouldn't have had a sequel. Like you mentioned Poltergeist earlier, I think this is one of those where if they left it alone, it would have been, they should have left it alone.
The second one was terrible. Exorcist the Heretic, terrible. Holy, you don't need to explain the devil that's there. All we need to know it's the devil and it's destroying the life of a young little girl. You don't need to go ahead and over-explain it. And then the third one, if you take it on its own, it's a much better film. It's much more psychological horror. But once again, you cannot redo and you cannot bring back The Exorcist. You can't do it.
Even remember the prequels? They came out with two different ones. Both of them, no way.
Yeah.
The second one was better. The original one was better, but it was more cerebral, and I give them this much. They didn't try to go ahead and recapture the original film. They tried to expand on it, But once again, you don't need to explain which devil this is. You don't need to explain that. It stands on its own.
Oh, I gotta say, how bad was the prequels? Remember they shot like I remember the story. They like shot like most of the prequel, and then they looked at it, it was so bad that they just scraped it.
No, no,
Yep.
no. It's not that it was so bad. It's
Oh,
that not what the
or just cried.
studio wanted. Okay, the original sequel that he shot was more of a backstory, and it was not, kid throwing up pea soup. It was much more cerebral, and they brought in Remy, who's a terrible director anyway. You know, and he went ahead and gave them what they wanted, which was, more of the exorcism going on. The other one was more on what's going on societally. Either one, it didn't need to happen.
All right, move on to your second one.
Yeah.
My second one, and this one is going to have a spiritual successor to it. My second film, and the thing about this film is this: it's not that it scares you, but it does scare you at times, and it's good, safe scares. But it entertains all the way through, and it is American Werewolf in London.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. That one is a classic to me.
It is the thing about that movie is you have a wonderful director. Landis is great with this film. He really captures the young spirit. This is a 20s, young Wolfman story. He takes Wolfman, goes ahead and mixes in this whole bit of doing a European vacation to it, and really, it makes a great movie. And I mean, you also have comedic elements in it. What's freaky is when he's transforming into a wolf, you're mixed from oh my god, and then oh that must be painful, and mixing in with Dark Moon on the Rise, you're going ahead and having a little bit of a jolly, going ahead and seeing this Wolfman going ahead and appearing, and you're going, oh yeah, the stuff is really on.
You know,
You
And then
know,
and then he
you
wakes
know
up
what?
in the wolf enclosure.
Yeah, Zoo.
Yeah.
One of the great things, one of the reasons I like this movie a lot is the same reason a lot of people like Game of Thrones. For that same reason. I'm not gonna go into it, but you guys know what I mean.
yeah. You know about the fact that he starts transforming in the middle of a porno theater, which is just fantastic. Awesome.
And actually, Landis actually did film that porno
Yeah.
that they
Well,
had.
we don't want to talk about it. We're a kid show.
We're going on.
Yeah.
We're going on.
No, no. Let me just point
You
out.
guys brought
You're,
that up, not me.
you're right. The transformation scenes was absolutely mind blowing. Watching the cadet, and we got to see it. Remember on Hollywood Heroes, they had like the sets and all that. It was all puppets, animatronics, where they stretched skin, they pulled the face, bones, twisted, and all that, and they shot it all together to look like it's like one transformation scene.
Yep.
And to this day, that's the best werewolf transformation scene I've ever seen.
It
Well,
was
Yeah.
painful.
Um, well, there's one other one that I would put in there for werewolf transformation, and that one was in the movie. Oh God, what's the name of the movie? The werewolves. New
Howling?
and The Howling. That one was a good one as well. But the other thing that I give them credit for is when the victims come out.
Oh yeah, the zombie
You
kind of
see,
ghost.
you see David. I mean, not David's friend going ahead and having bits of flesh going ahead and hanging from the neck where he'd been bitten, and all of the different. He's introducing him to all the people he's killed. I mean, I love that idea. Now, the spiritual successor to this that does for vampires what this movie did for werewolves is what I would go ahead and say is the original Fright Night. And
I
it
Yeah,
like that movie.
takes vampires into the young adult, more on the teens on that one rather than the 20s.
Marcy's on that one. Marcy!
Oh, yes.
well, let me tell you. You brought up Fright Night, which to me still stands up. It's still a pretty good movie, but part of that has to go to oh, what's the name of the actor, the British actor who was Cornelius
Oh, right.
Downing? No.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, I know who you mean. I'm blanking on his
You're
name,
talking
but
about
you're right.
Roddy McDowell.
Yeah, Roddy McDowell. He was absolutely astounding as Peter Vincent, Vampire Slayer.
I do
And
have
it
to
brought back
say,
all the 1950s, horror films, and here he is, an actor, and then, now he has to do it for real, and you see that he's scared complete of this. And you
You
also
know,
have to give it to the vampire. I've forgotten. He also was in Princess Bride. He was Humperdinck. Um,
yeah.
Basically, he played such a menacing vampire that, I mean, you've got to have faith.
oh yeah.
I mean, he exhibited exactly what a vampire was supposed to be, which is non-glittering, burned in sunlight vampire.
Oh heck yeah. Oh
You
heck
know,
yeah.
but if
What was
we're
that?
talking about good scenes and werewolves and stuff like that, let's go back to Howling just a little bit because that is one of my favorite horror scenes in any movie. You have the
Yep.
newscaster and she's reporting the news, and throughout, and as the news is going, she starts transforming into a werewolf on live TV.
Yeah,
That's one of the
yeah,
best scenes in horror I've ever seen. That
yeah.
scene was amazing.
That's one of the
All right,
scenes I was
Renee.
talking about.
Oop. Let me introduce my picks. One that I have to watch this one every Halloween. To me, it still stands up as pretty disturbing. I mean, it gets into you. The original John Carpenter's Halloween movie.
It started the
Yeah.
whole slasher
Yeah,
flick.
because I mean, part of it is that here we do have the killer. We have the original slasher killer coming out. He's unstoppable. He doesn't stop. We don't know his reasons. He's insane. We barely know a little bit about his background as we look through this movie.
It's Captain
And
Kirk.
Jamie Lee Curtis plays the original girl in distress. I
Mike
mean,
Myers'
Captain
sister.
Kirk. And
yeah.
he's Captain Kirk.
Captain Kirk.
Yeah. I'll
Well, that's
never
always the
trust
thing.
Shatner ever.
Take that Kirk mask and paint it white, and there you have Michael Myers.
But part of it that I like watching, it is one of the Halloween themes that puts me in the mood because I mean they call it Halloween, and I find this guy. I always find Mike Myers really disturbing. Out of all of the serial killers we have, this is one guy that you just don't get because he doesn't talk, he doesn't move. I mean, he moves, but whenever you see him on camera, he's mostly still, and he only moves when he's going to kill. And I love the shots. Part of the movie to me that found me disturbing was that there's always the shots where he's in the background and nobody notices him. Or the kid, during the Halloween night, the kid opens a window. He sees Michael Myers like across the street in the light. You just see his black outline. He turns away, looks back, he's gone. John Carpenter knew horror. He knew how to do that stuff. He knew how to get in your head. And even today, it still has one of the best Halloween theme musics.
Yeah.
With
I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I want to go ahead and tag another one of my films to this, because it's sort of his going ahead and doing the same thing, but at
The Thing?
The Thing. What I love about that movie is you don't know who to trust, and there's no humanity to the Thing whatsoever, just like there's no humanity to Michael Myers.
See, I give the Thing same amount of credit because, I mean, the special effects, even today, still hold up.
Oh,
The
God,
latex pulling and the animatronics they use to display the thing, or in the scene where they put the hot poker in the blood and the blood like throws out and
It screams.
The head goes ahead and crawls away.
and I picked those, but again, I stick with Halloween because to me, even today, it still kind of like gets into me because I'm always like, how do I escape? How do I escape? And Donald Pleasance, Jamie Lee Curtis were just amazing because they reacted really well to this guy.
Did they need to make the remakes?
No.
No,
Of course not.
no,
Well,
I mean, Halloween 2 was passable.
You know, refer to my earlier conversation of sequels.
Well, that's the thing. Halloween 2 was passable, okay, because it continued the story. And then Halloween 3, I saw the potential. I saw it the other day, actually. I saw the potential, but yeah, it got weird.
Yeah,
And
you
then
know, let me rephrase that. I don't mean sequel. I mean reboot. You know, that's what I meant to say.
Well, the Rob Zombie one was okay.
Yeah, that's the problem. It was just okay.
I really
Um,
felt that he was restricted and like he was holding back.
yeah.
Well,
Because
it's not.
one that,
It's
that
not his
barely got
time.
out of my list, and it's the one that David's wearing, House of a Thousand Corpses.
And I didn't get a chance to go ahead and finish up because I needed a little bit of rouge on the.
Don't worry about it. Show's almost over. But
Damn clowns.
but even that House of a Thousand Corpses was really dark, really disturbing. I mean,
Yeah.
it went
That
out.
movie was disturbing. I give it to you. That movie was disturbing. We saw it together, and I was like, I was in
Well,
shock going home.
It didn't need a sequel.
Yeah,
No.
I agree with you
Everybody's
there.
agreed.
Yeah.
Devil's Rejects didn't do well.
Everybody was so
Yeah.
dirty in that movie. Jeez.
You know,
And then
let me bring up some movies. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
We're
Go
not
ahead.
over yet. Go ahead, Renee.
No, bring it up.
Well, no, go mention yours. All right. Wait before we go. There were two movies that I really enjoyed that I should have brought up earlier. One of them that not exactly horror, but I consider and it was great and it surprised me when it came out. Cabin in the Woods. That movie was excellent. You know what I mean? It totally caught me by surprise. I wasn't expecting all the twists that was gonna be in that movie and all the monsters. That movie was great. And the second one that I really enjoyed, and not many people know about this movie, but I like it. Phantom of the Paradise. I love that one. And it's not the Kiss one. That's something else.
We
For all
can't
this
forget
time,
Army
but
of
it-
Darkness, man. We can't forget Army of Darkness.
I
Hail to
wouldn't
the
really
king.
I wouldn't consider that horror, actually. I would consider Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 horror. Yeah, Army of Darkness isn't really horror.
It's
You don't
horror.
really have
It's
that sense.
horror.
You
No,
can make
I
the
wouldn't consider
argument.
horror.
You can make the argument that Army of Darkness is horror.
It is.
I wouldn't consider it horror,
Just
actually.
take away
There's no...
and you have a wonderful horror movie. It fits
No,
the
not really. It's more like a zombie movie, dude. Which really,
Well, let me-
you know, it's a maybe.
Hold
If
on.
anything, it's kind of like a
Dawn of the
survival
Dead.
horror movie, maybe.
Hold
What do
on,
you
we
think
gotta
of-
ask Kelly.
Oh.
Have
Yes.
you seen Darkness?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
You need to see Army of Darkness.
it is one of the most quoted films.
Shop
I mean-
it smart. Shop it smart.
Before I give my last one, I want to give a little bit of props to some of the ones that I find disturbing but didn't make my list. I gotta put the Saw movies. Now I know some people panic like, oh, they're not that good. The original to me,
The original was good. The follow-up.
The original was good. Yes, I'm with
And
Kelly.
he started the whole torture porn, genre of film along with Hostel.
well, Hostel kind of, Hostel
I-
fell on its own. I mean, the sequel really just didn't work. It didn't gel.
No.
No.
And the Saw movies, they lost their way because they were doing like one a year, and I can only imagine how quickly you were rushing to get those done.
Well, it's the same thing that they did with Final Destination. I just like to reach the Final Destination, please.
Yeah, but then I gotta say the last Saw movie was actually interesting because they put everything together. So the first one, and then the second, I mean the last one, which I don't even know what part where we're at with that one.
I think it was 5.
Yeah, I'll take your word because I didn't watch all of them in order. I just, after a while I gave up on them.
That
And
brings an interesting point. That brings an interesting point. Not to interrupt you real quick, just to bring it up because you brought that up. Hellraiser, dude. Hellraiser's kind of the same thing. Remember, we
oh
saw the
yeah,
Yeah,
first
the
one, which was
first.
excellent, and then we saw Bloodlines, which it took it's the same concept, but they had a twist on it, which was amazing. Yeah, go ahead.
well the Hellraiser ones you brought it up. I mean I gotta say the box sister. To this day I won't even touch the prop.
Yeah.
I've seen the prop. Like, I've been in
Wait,
the
the
room.
Fred Pinhead?
I have been in the room with the actual prop, and they told me that it's a piece of wood. It doesn't open up or anything. Go ahead, hold it if you want. I'm like, I ain't touching that.
I'm going to touch on that. No, lies.
remember how they opened it in the third one, which was clever. Remember?
What?
He used the robot to open it. Remember? That was
Yeah.
clever. That was such a good idea.
Yeah,
In fact, that's
Bloodline.
another one.
Yeah, Bloodlines.
That's another.
Which was. Go ahead.
You know, that's another one where you had the sci-fi horror mix into it, which was great. That was
Yeah.
great.
Well, it suffered from low budget, but
Yeah.
the concept I really like the idea. How did they finally defeat Pinhead? How did they finally stop the box and all that? They did it with technology. And it just showed, that technology actually beat magic. It beat the supernatural. Which in a way kind of leads me to my last one. And I picked this one because this one to me fits a definition of a true Halloween classic. And I'm picking the original Ghostbusters, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It brings out the spirit, the fun of Halloween for me.
Now, the thing I have to say, as a kid, and even watching it today, you have the humor with Harold Ramis, Dan Aykroyd, and Bill Murray. But just the idea and some of the scenes alone are pretty dark, and they are spooky. I mean, the library scene in the beginning, if you haven't watched, I've watched Ghostbusters a million times, but I remember I went to the theaters the first time we saw it with a brand new audience. Nobody's seen Ghostbusters before. The famous library scene, like, okay, at the count of 3, and they sneak, and we're all like, ha ha ha, oh, it's gonna be funny. And then the librarian, ah! The audience screamed.
I screamed. That was frightening to me. I really got scared of that.
I
I
scream
just
for
love
ice cream.
that. I love the scene after that. Oh, grab her. That was your big idea. Ooh, grab her.
And here's a point I pick because it's horror, and I mentioned it last time. If you took out the humor and you switched it with serious actors, this would have been a really scary movie.
Hellhounds were great. Hellhounds. That's what
Oh, yeah.
Imagine that's serious. Imagine if it was serious. It'd be like a really scary movie. But luckily they made it humor. So, but again, even those scenes with Gozer and the lightning blast, you see them, and it still gets scary.
Oh, you god. No.
No, and die.
And then Winston Sedmore said the best
When
line.
someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes.
And even I even today, I mean, I understand why we have the El Paso Ghostbusters and the Young Ghostbusters. This is one movie that even today I bring it up with kids. They've seen them.
Well, I mean, myself, I love it. I love, Ray's line, when they're going ahead and say, I didn't choose, you didn't choose, you didn't choose. Ray,
What did you do, Ray?
I chose the most innocent thing from my childhood.
I-
What is it? It's
Yeah, I remember that. I love that.
oh, when the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man came out, my uncle had been given. It was the premiere for it. My uncle had been, they had been throwing out these marshmallows. My brother and I, we just ate it. My uncle kept it in his hand. He had it throughout the entire show because he was saying, they gave this for a reason. There is a reason. And when the State Puft Marshmallow Man came out, he's like going, ugh. Marshmallow that he's kept all throughout the film.
Yeah, they're all sweaty and yucky after that.
Well, it reminds me of the line, of the end of Ferris Bueller, you want a gummy bear? It's been in my pocket.
They're nice and warm.
No, the marshmallows reminded me of.
We've been talking about our favorite ones, but we know that there have been duds of horror films.
We don't want
dude,
to.
no.
Yeah, dude, we could make a show on that
I'm gonna go
alone.
into that.
Yeah.
One of my favorite memories of the marshmallow, though, and I saw this from a Gary Larson cartoon, which is messed up, like a Joan of Arc marshmallows. Like, that's awful.
Oh, still, to me, my favorite scenes was the one with Slimer in the hotel. I
Yeah.
mean, Bill Murray underplayed it. He wasn't dramatic. He's not like like the Jim Carrey with the faces and all that. He was like really subtle, where he's looking at me, Gray. It's like, oh, he's like, I think he can hear you.
You can hear you, Ray.
Start from the beginning, because you see him stop and slowly get the walkie-talkie, and he's like, "Come in, Ray."
No, I liked his yell at
me.
Ah!
Even
And yeah,
He slimed me. Save me some.
Okay, well, if you notice, there in that scene, he got completely slimed. At the end of the movie, he hardly had any marshmallow on him.
Yep.
although I'll say one thing that's wrong with this movie that I dislike. The gratuitous murder of toilet paper. That's just no.
It was right and just. It was right and just. He had toilet paper, had it coming.
The poor woman.
What the hell are you doing?
What are you guys? The elevator scene. What are you guys? Cosmonauts or something? Oh no, we're Terminators.
One of the great things about this movie is a lot of the subtle details that you may not catch, and you may not have ever catched, such as when they're going ahead and trying to tell the figure to the hotel owner, Venkman keeps on looking to Ray, and if you notice, Egon, and Egon is going ahead and signing him in his hands how much it would be.
Yeah.
And I mean, little subtlety. They went ahead and did a lot of the detail on this. That really, they thought it out and they directed it well.
Oh, that's too much. Oh, that's okay. We'll just put it right back. Right. All right.
And I gotta still point out, this is one movie where the sequel did not diminish the original.
No, but it
People
just
tend to forget the sequel. I mean, people tolerate the sequel because it had some good elements, but then it kind of got wayward. It kind of lost itself. But still, people still remember the original, and they still love it. They love that original movie. The love of it hasn't gone away.
Yeah.
Nope.
This is a really good point because I remember being a kid that I wish there'd be a third one. You know what I mean? But now that I'm older and I've seen the direction a lot of third movies come, I'm kind of glad now they never made a third movie. Besides, they gave us enough.
Yeah, but now
They
they're
had-
going and they're messing with the original now.
Yeah, possibly. We'll see what they do with it. But you know what? I enjoyed the fact that the real Ghostbusters came out. I love the animated series, man. It really
that was
took a good concept like Ghostbusters
Yeah,
and
and
really,
then you had the
made a
knockoff.
lot of great things with it.
Then you had the knockoff, the original Ghostbusters.
Well, it wasn't really a knockoff. Technically, they did come first.
Technically, they were first. That's why they're called the original Ghostbusters.
I know, but the only
Just
reason they
good.
did that show was because they wanted to cash in with the name Ghostbusters.
And they
Yeah.
could.
So
And I don't
I don't
know if
care.
that
It
original
doesn't
movie
diminish
named
doesn't
Ghost.
diminish my love for the new one, dude. I don't
Oh,
care.
no.
Okay.
No, I know that.
All right. Man, it's been a great Halloween hour and some. We got to call it a night, ladies and gentlemen. We got a big night ahead of us tomorrow.
No.
I got
And
Let's go back to
out
Stephen
of my
King.
clamps.
we got to
Let's talk
go
more
in
about Stephen
his
King.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's okay. I know where all you live, except for Kelly. I don't know where Kelly lives.
That's a
Sorry,
good thing.
Halloween's been banned in Jersey.
Really?
Well, there's a hoax article going around that Christie banned Halloween on fears of Ebola. I mean, come on,
Oh.
my doctor. And every kid
Well-
believes this.
Well, no. Kelly, they'll believe anything. They thought that ISIS was in El Paso and that they were going to go ahead and bring in a whole bunch of ISIS fighters in through the Mexican.
Border?
You're not kidding.
I'm not kidding
Not
on
kidding. He's not kidding.
this. They were totally convinced. I mean, we were reading a story that is very apropos with Ebola, and it's also a very good classic horror film, which is The Mask of the Red Death.
Yeah.
The whole thing with Ebola goes ahead and gives it a whole new element now.
All right, but still, the witching hour has come, and it's time for us to go. We hope everybody has a great Halloween tomorrow. Halloween's on a Friday, so live it up. And we'll come
Yes.
back next week with the latest news and all the stuff you need to know. So we'll see you later. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. See ya. Bye.